Starts.
Now, we are going to use quadratic formula, factorization method, and complete the square to solve this second question. The way my student used it to solve the first question. So, starting with factorization method first. Like she said, we combine the one with square and with the one with the constant. So when you combine them by multiplying them, we are going to have 2h squared plus 3. We have 6h squared, but it's going to be positive. The one she did earlier on was negative, and she said that two numbers that when you multiply will give you the product, but when you subtract, you get the middle number. But since we're having plus here, it's going to be two numbers that when we multiply will give us plus 6h squared, but when you add, we are going to get the middle number. And the two numbers that we can add to give us 5, and when we multiply will give us 6 is 2h and 3h. Then what of their signs? Since we are having plus here, it means that we have the same sign. Why? Because when you are multiplying two numbers that have the same sign, the result will be positive. And both of them will take the sign here, minus minus. What's the evidence that what I've chosen is correct? Minus times minus is plus. 2 times 3 will give me 6. 8 times h will give me h squared. And you to look at it. Minus 2h minus 3h will give me minus 5h. So I'll bring this one down. I have 2h squared. Then remove the middle one and replace with minus 2h minus 3h. Then bring this one down. You have plus 3 equal to 0. Why am I doing this? The reason is that instead of having 3 items which cannot be grouped 2, 2, now I've replaced the minus 5 with minus 2h and minus 3h so that it can be easy for me to group them 2, 2. So this will be group 1 and this will be group 2. Group 1, what is common? 2h is common because 2 is common. The letter h is also common. So if I divide this one by 2h, 2 will cancel 2. H will go in h squared. I will say 1. Minus 2h divided by 2h will give me 1. Minus 3 can go here, 3 can go here. So 3 is the common factor. So I'm going to have 3 into what you are going to have in the second bracket, and the first one will be the same. So instead of stressing yourself, just write h minus 1 equal to 0. Then pick the one outside like she did in the first one. You have 2h minus 3. Then pick one of these, h minus 1 equal to 0. So you have 2h minus 3 equal to 0, or h minus 1 equal to 0. You bring this one out. Don't forget that this is 3. You have 2h equal to, the 3 will become positive. Or if you take minus 1 out, minus 1 will also become positive. But I'm not yet through because of this. So I have to divide both sides by 2 to get the final answer for h here, which will be 3 over 2, or h equal to 1. But I can still simplify this one further by expressing it as a mixed number, and that gives me h equal to 1 over 2, or 1. So you can see that the answer for the quadratic equation is 1.5 and 1. So this final answer are also known as the root of the equation. So apart from asking you to solve the quadratic equation, they can ask you to find the root of the equation. So when you finish solving it, your final answer are also known as the root of the equation. Recalling the method that my student wrote down earlier on concerning completing the square, the first step that she wrote was that we divide each one of them by the coefficient of a squared. So we are going to divide each one of them by 2, and if you use 2 to divide this one, we are going to have h squared, minus use 2 to divide this, we have 5 over 2h, and use 2 to divide this one, we have 3 over 2 equal to, if you use 2 to divide 0, it will give you 0. So the second step is that he said that you carry this constant out. If you carry the constant out, we are going to have h squared minus 5 over 2h equal to minus 3 over 2. She now said that you will find half of the coefficient of h and square it, and you then add it to both sides. So that's what we are going to do next. Half of the coefficient of h, that is, we have h squared minus 5 over 2h. So we add half of what? Half of minus 5 over 2 square. But we are going to add it to both sides, not only one side. Half times minus 5 over 2 square. So we have h minus 5 over 2h, h square rather, minus 5 over 2h plus, so this one nothing can cut, so we multiply the one up. We have minus 5 over 2 square equal to minus 3 over 2 plus the s, multiply this will give me minus 5 over 2. Now take note, there's a mistake there. That's 2 times 2 will give me 4. So take note of that. When you are multiplying, you have to be very careful. 2 times 2 here also will give me 4 squared. Now I will pick what I have under the square here, which here I have h. Here I have minus 5 over 4 and square it. Because I've completed the square here. So when you are factorizing, when you are factorizing a perfect square, you take what you have under the square and square it. The square will be outside the bracket. So we are going to have a minus, you simplify this one completely. You have 3 over 2 plus 25 over 16. H minus 5 over 4 squared will be equal to, find the LCM. The LCM is 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 8 times minus 3 will give me minus 24. Then plus 16 divided by 16 will give me 1 times 25 will give me 25. So we are going to have h minus 5 over 4 squared equal to minus 24 plus 25 will give me 1 over 16. So the next thing is for me to remove the square. And how will I remove the square? I have to square both sides. You take the square root of both sides rather. H minus 5 over 4 equal to plus or minus. The square will come to this side to become square root of 1 over 16. And if you bring this one in, you have h equal to, it become positive 5 over 4 plus or minus square root of 1 is 1, square root of 16 is 4. So we have h equal to, the LCM is 4. 4 divided by 4 times 5 will give me 5 plus or minus 4 divided by 4 times 1 will give me 1. And h will be equal to 5 plus 1 over 4 or 5 minus 1 over 4. And h will be equal to 5 plus 1 is 6 over 4 or minus 4 over, no, it's going to be positive 4 over 4. So h will be equal to, 2 can go here, 2 can go here, that will give me that. So h will be equal to, 2 can go here 3, 2 can go here 2 or 1. Therefore h is equal to 1 over 1 over 2 or 1. You can see that it's the same answer with the one we got earlier on. So now we want to use the quadratic formula. The coefficient of h squared will be our a, that means our a is 2. The coefficient of h will be our b, that's minus 5. Then the constant will be our c. So using the formula, that's minus b plus or minus root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. The next thing is to substitute. Once you know the formula, we have minus b is, as in b is minus 5, that's why we're having minus minus, plus or minus root minus 5 squared minus 4 into, what is a? 2. Then c is 3. Everything over 2 times a, which is 2, and this time this will give me 5 plus or minus root 25 minus, multiply everything here will give me 24, everything over 4. So we have 5 plus or minus root 25 minus 24 will give me 1, everything over 4. So from here we have 5 plus or minus, square root of 1 is 1 over 4, and 5 plus 1 will give me, we have 5 plus 1 over 4 or 5 minus 1 over 4. So I'm going to have 6 over 4 or 4 over 4. So that will give me 3 over 2 or 1. Therefore P will be h, because here we are dealing with h. H will be equal to 1 over 2 or 1. So from here you can see that no matter the method you are using, you still get the same answer. Thank you.